Hey, let's freak out and guess what? Special edition of Friday the 13th. Oh my goodness, Friday the 13th. I got stories, yes, about Friday the 13th. A couple intriguing, weird, bizarre, scary, sad, and bizarre. It does not relate to any kind of hatchet or machete or knife. Was that Friday or Friday the 13th was the hockey mask, right? Yeah, anyway, the hockey mask. Well, we're not going to talk about hockey masks per se. We're going to talk about bikes on this channel. Needless to say, other channels kind of forgot and lost their way because they're just distracted, which is fine. And if you're joining me from another channel, welcome to Freak Out Friday. Hey, I'm Justin from Annoy Guy Bicycles. If you just chiming in for the first time, I have a garage shop. As you see behind me, I've been in the industry for 35 years, doing my thing between small mom pop bike shop, Parker Bikes, up to today, which I have my own little garage shop. Been doing this for 5 years. Yay me! And doing tune-ups and repairs and all that in between. And this is kind of a podcast piece of insights of what a bike shop is kind of experiencing in the state of the state as we are looking at today, Friday the 13th in February of 2026. Nuts saying that because when I was a kid, 2026 sounded like some space odyssey. They had movies about crazy stuff like that. I thought it would be on hover bikes and all that. But anyway, we're close. Electronic shifting's there and e-bikes, so we're going in that direction. But in any case, nothing good, bad, or otherwise of that. But in any case, we're looking at a couple repairs. My state of the state is I'm busy, which is really good, which is very a fortunate thing for me because there's a lot of shops struggling and trying to navigate through this new environment, which is not seem to be going to change anytime soon. And watched a couple of videos related to that where I'm not alone on the same perspective, and things are steamrolling right along, and a lot of shops are navigating like myself, and if they're flexible enough with their staff and their beliefs and how they believe business should be for their little ecosystem, their community, which a lot of us are forward faced from put our backs to the corporate world, the big brands, and we are facing, guess what? You cyclists. Those who ride bikes, those who come in and help us, and trust us working on your equipment and that kind of thing. So, in any case, I forgot to do something here. See if I can. I need to do my do not disturb because I need to be focused. There we go. Yeah, I mean. You got to cut out time to do fun things like this anyway, and not be interrupted as much. Sorry for the quiet pause there. Oh, so yeah, Friday the 13th. Yeah, nuts, right? And Freak Out Friday, a twofer. So hopefully we'll enjoy the show. I'll try to keep it around an hour, but I keep telling myself and my wife, like, yeah, I'm trying to cut back to about an hour on these, and I've failed pretty much most often than not because we talk about things and you guys are engaging through the chat, so I implore you to go ahead and chime in on the chat, questions, statements, whatever. If it's too weird and off cuff, I'll just delete it, but that's with all podcasts in any case. And we're going to be pretty much just you and I hanging out, and we're going to talk about what's going on Friday. Looping back to the bike industry, I forgot the guy's channel. I do apologize. I watched it. Looks like a mobile repair shop guy out of Utah. I know you watch my stuff, so I'm drawing a blank. But he had an excellent little bit about what the cycling industry is kind of, for his perspective, being mobile, and he's increasing his business, which does definitely reflect what I've been experiencing here. In addition to, he had basically the title is like, why are Trek and Specialized and big brands dropping the ball on entry-level bikes where Walmart with the Ozark Trail Ridge Pro, I think is the model. I haven't looked at it, but he did a comparison spec sheet on it. It blows the doors off of off of the other ones for $400 or $500 cheaper. So, I know they can make cheaper bikes, price point bikes. They just don't want to because the margins is not what they want or got used to. So unfortunately now they got to really shift gears. Companies like Poseidon and a few others have been and very targeting those price points under $1,000 for a full gravel bike or hardtail mountain bike, that kind of thing. And that's a huge slap in the face. I mean, they just can't not keep plowing the way. And I mentioned this either last week. They got to accept defeat before they can move forward. Like, okay, we've lost this market almost entirely. I mean, we'll still keep a pulse on it, but we need to regenerate a whole new ecosystem for the cycling communities and supporting bike shops. That's where the bottom line is on this, is support your independent bike shops. People like me that go in it with passion and with a heart and a shoestring of hope and basically bleed out our bank accounts to try to support something that we enjoy doing. And none of us believe this. Believe me, very few of us have actually made it to a successful rate of owning mansions. So all bike shop owners out there, for the most part, live a very modest life and they love their cycling community. It's a passion job. Same thing for me here. So when we're looking at those particular perspectives, yes, we've had a pretty big shift, which a lot of bike shops are leveraging service departments because that's where the money's coming in. It's like, oh, we got tune-ups coming and so forth. Same here. So in any case, let's jump in the chat real quick. We got a couple people in here. We got people couple filing in. Yes, welcome to Freak Out Friday, Friday the 13th special edition. Woo! Right? Bill from Vital Bike Chains. In the garage. I said it right this time. In any case, hey buddy, I hope you made it. Hope you're ready for the weekend. I'm working, he's one of my trusted partners in the sense that he does wax chains on new chains and also services chains, that kind of thing. Let me play this and we'll talk a little bit more about it, but not too much of a huge plug, but of course it is a plug and something that's very vital for a lot of those Vital Bike Chains to think about the drivetrain, because the chain is one of the most important parts of that, and you want to make sure it's running as efficient as possible. Ever popular chain process or waxing of Vital Bike Chains provides brand names like Shimano, SRAM, and various others to be cleaned in high detailed 5-step process and then waxed to your professional level with either speed chip or endurance chip, which has been proven to have better performance and better lasting events and recreational riding. It takes care of the messy process, and all you have is the clean wax chain ready to perform. Check them out. Discount code with a link below. Also, I've been refreshing my trusted partner page on my website. Just go iknowaguybicycles.com. Go there. It's the first banner, trusted partners, and you'll see others like Bill that are small companies that actually make a difference within the cycling community. So in any case, wax chains. Yeah, this one's a stiffy. It hasn't been shedded yet to be more flexible to be installed. So that's another process that we do for wax chains. But it's becoming more and more popular, even so, more so that brands like KMC and Connex are actually pre-waxing manufactured chains straight from them. The difference is what Bill does. He does that, but he does have endurance chips, which gives you a longer life to the wax coating. Also speed chips for performance. So all that Kool-Aid that's being shoveled down from like Silka and other brands, and it actually is vetted, tested stuff from the race circuit. So if you're a triathlete or you have a performance bike, you want to do an event and you want to go faster by saving some wattage and you care about those kinds of things, that's the way to go. So yeah, this is, needless to say, if you like it or hate it or otherwise, it is here. Majority of my customers, sorry, I walked out of the frame. Majority of my customers, I mean, when I talk about the wax chains and they see the videos I have in my library, it's a no-brainer for them. And looking at tests from Zero Friction down in Australia. He has tested all these different waxes and drip lubes and wears and all that. Super geeked out information. And there is some proof behind it. It's not just like this corporate Kool-Aid fad thing. And he is non-biased, non-paid testing. So check out his channel. He likes to talk like I do, jibber jabber quite a bit. If you just don't have the time, fast forward to his actual charts and you'll see all the testing and so forth. The guy's legit. So anyway, yes. So we got that going on. Like you got a guy like Bill doing wax chains. A lot of shops have done wax chains conversion. So what I'm trying to figure out how to get Bill to be at Vital Bike Chains my service for wax, because that would take away, not business, but take away a time suck for me to do other more vital things using Vital Bike Chains. Wow, I'm just full today. Whew, you got me on a good day. Anyway, so in other words, somebody brings in a bike like this guy right here, and he wants a chain, and it's like, oh, okay, needs a chain, because most of the time, about 80 to 90% of the bikes, and don't feel like you're being raked over the coals when you go to any bike shop and say your chain is elongated or stretched, or whatever the verbiage they're going to say, compromised. Most of the time they're correct. That you can check it yourself, buy a gauge, what have you, but that is a pretty legit thing. So that's an opportunity to try out a wax chain or try out something a little more efficient and so forth. Well, in this scenario, a couple days lead time until the tune-up actually gets touched. For me, this doesn't really apply to those who do overnight or 24-hour tune-ups, which I really question anyway. That's a whole nother story, but as a quality and so forth. But when you're looking at something like this here, I can go, oh, you want a chain? Okay, do you want different variants? Are you using this for commuting? Should we get endurance wax for you or what have you? Then I just order the chain from Bill, and he'll send me the chain. Time it comes in, I'm doing the repair, boom, we're all good to go. That saves me the whole time of stripping the chain that's new, drying it, making sure it's taking all the manufacturer grease off of there, and then applying that particular vat of wax that they want. So if they want to do endurance or speed or anything like that, I'm sorry, most bike shops are not going to have all those flavors. This is all he does, so it's a win-win. So that's how I see it. So what I'm getting at here is bike shops, and you're going to notice this, might have a little more of a lead time on certain things. They already do with like suspension work and various other things that they will send out to be done and to be sent back to be completed for the tune-up, because it doesn't make sense for them to do all those services. Some shops do, don't get me wrong, but smaller shops are more versatile in leveraging their partnerships with like Dirt Labs in Longmont, where they do suspension work or various other things like that. This is nothing different than that. And as bike shops right now, service needs to become more efficient. So when you walk into the shop and your local shop and they're like, oh yeah, we can get a wax chain, and we'll order one up and have it waxed, and whatever, you're doing an event specific, that kind of thing. This could be an opportunity that shop can have more of a variety of options for the customer and still maintain a level of margin in addition to providing, good quality products and everything like that. So that's that's a mouthful, and that's one small aspect that a bike shop can leverage to go, oh, maybe we can do this to make it a little more efficient. So my team is not worrying about boiling, waxing, and doing all this other stuff. I mean, yeah, they can do the base waxing if they need to real quick, but for the more high performance stuff and so forth, they can provide that service without having the cost up front. That's a huge lift for a bike shop when you have any of those opportunities to leverage going forward. Therefore, it's a win-win, and it's a win for the customer and your cycling community, which I'm converting my verbiage and mindset in my head is they're not just customers, they're part of my cycling community that I support, and they entrust me with their bikes to work on. once you embrace that as a bike shop, or if you find a shop that has already embraced that, it's a completely different perspective game changer. It's like bringing the heart and soul back into cycling from grassroots level. It's nuts. And proving it in my little micro environment, if you will. I'm bringing in service from Denver, which is an hour and a half away. They'll drive, drop it off, have me do it, give me time to do it, and just pick it up when they're, when it's ready, and they'll drive back up and do it again. When you're looking at that kind of level of commitment kind of thing, you're resonating. You're connecting with the cycling community, and your cycling community doesn't have to be the 3 square miles of your shop. That's what the beauty of internet, YouTube videos, Instagram videos, Facebook videos, all those things. Because when you pick a celebrity within your shop, I mean, I'm the only one here, so the complaint department goes to me. So I'm going to write myself a letter. Slacking off, talking too much, not doing enough work. What was it, BL Bicycles in Pullman, Washington State. He has like Instagram videos almost every day, and they're like these little short things, and the guy has a really crazy voice and all that. Really fun guy, and he has like 50,000 subs on there. So it doesn't take a lot of time to do something very short like that, very impactful, and I bet you dollars of donuts, he has a lot of people in his area further away through the Seattle metro area coming to him to have them work on their stuff. Maybe to see their bike be featured on a three minute or less video kind of thing, just for fun. So yeah, I mean, I would say right now, the majority of my customers, if they're not already repeat customers, came from the social media perspective, from mostly YouTube, but that's where I've gained some traction. But I'm slowly working those other channels too by just copying and pasting and just nutrition of content going out. So because not everybody just does this platform or another platform or what have you. So got to play the game, right? But what that isn't helped me become more efficient. I mean, Bill's like, I'll take care of you, like, all right, let's do this as a test, and we're still working through it, but it could be a possibility of other shops leveraging that kind of thing. So it's a win-win. But in any case, so yeah, Bill of Vital Bike Chains is preferred partner or trusted partner. Go to iknowaguybicycles.com and check out that. Also, there is a discount code for chains. So yeah, and all right, back to the chat. That was the first one. Listen to me go. I thought I was going to draw a blank on content this morning. I'm just like rolling. Single track mind. Ooh, I miss mountain biking back in the day. Wind in my hair, going down the trails of Winter Park, beautiful day, and taking the lift because I'm a cheater. I love it. Watching funerals in a small shop in Wanderlust gear and repairing a Green River, Wyoming. Oh, and Green River, Wyoming. Nice. Service is definitely king and why I started in the first place. Yeah, retail is a joke these days. It's a wild west right now. It's like, it's nuts. Yeah, and custom bikes too. Well, I mean, small guys like us that do things what we do, we get entrusted by customers that do like those really niche custom builds. I have one in the corner here. You might be able to see it. It's a State full carbon road bike. A customer, he had worked on several of his bikes and his wife's bikes, and it's a whole thing. And he's like, bought the frame, fork, bought wheels, got componentry and all this, put it together, put it in my lap, gave me a month to just kind of put it all together. It's like, whatever else I may have missed, just order it and be done with it. And I'm like, sweet. So you got a custom build. I did like the ceramic coating on it, so I did the whole 3-day layer of ceramic coating on that. I'm going to do the parts too, and I'm probably going to start pre-assembling it starting this weekend, if not beginning of next week. But it's that's not my only one I've had. I mean, I've had several of those from other niche companies that, customers have bought frames and had them built up. One was a Fairlight, which is a sweet Reynolds steel frame from England. A Tumbleweed, which is a United States brand, which is more of like a gravel touring bike, which I was pretty cool. He swapped out the used parts on that one from his old bike that had broken in half. So I've had a few of them, and I'm going to probably continue to do so because, quite honestly, if you're dropping $5,000 on a bike, or if you have the funds by chance to have $5,000, why not get something really cool? Because this is about a joy of riding, not necessarily, oh, I want to be like everybody else that's riding a Trek or a Specialized or a Cervelo, or, I mean, you can, if that's your game, that's cool, but hey, why don't you check out some of those niche, smaller companies, maybe get yourself a nice titanium. Oh, another one I just did too is the number 22 titanium, talking about titanium, and they're out in New York State, I think. They are the former peoples from Sirota that are running that one. So that bike was fun. That was an amazing build. I mean, that was a lot of fun. In any case, there's a lot of opportunities for those smaller companies, I think, in this environment to actually excel because those bigger boys have dropped the ball. They didn't see it coming. They got spanked pretty hard by pricing or the market going out underneath them, thinking it would last forever. And it didn't. And here we are. So we're dealing with a lot of that. And thank you for chiming in there. From the state north of me, if you're watching from out of the United States, Wyoming is a state north of me. It's probably like 3 or 4 hour drive away from me. I think I knew somebody from Green River that I worked with back in the day who was a tech that I hired, and then he became the service manager when I left. So anyway, at Lee Cyclery, that was a lifetime ago. Woo! Lifetimes ago. Nick, thank you for chiming in. 2744, if I can read. Thank you for the BWW recommendation. Bicycle Wheel Warehouse. Oh, you just gave me a great plug on this one. Riding my second set of 26ers, bring them back. Silver Shimano 30 millimeter internal, awesome shiny blue spokes. Oh yeah, he did that on mine, the client. I have a video in my library, check it out. Maybe it's just a short, but yeah, definitely check it out. And my 1999 Diamondback never looked and rode better. Yeah, really oddly enough, if you get a really nice set of wheels and they're built specifically for me, I need weight. I can't go dainty. I've aged to 225. I'm a chunky mechanic, which, reminded me of a joke the other day. I was like riding, it's like, hey, those people are riding on those very expensive road bikes or mountain bikes or whatever. And it's like, yeah, you might have like that knee-jerk reaction, like, oh, those doctors and lawyers, but they're overweight, whatever. They don't look like true cyclists. Well, don't forget, a lot of those mechanics are chubby riding on those overly expensive bikes too. So beware of your personal insults. Or quick, what am I trying to say? Assumptions. Because, yeah, hey, I may not look it when I'm wrapped in spandex, but I can ride. In any case, I'm glad those worked out for you. Yeah, the guys at Bicycle Wheel Warehouse, they're pretty awesome. And what I'm talking about, I'll give you a little bit of a plug here on that too. We'll talk about those. And I do have some coming to feature as well. I'll give you a little bit. I don't have them physically here, but I'll give you a verbal sneak peek what I'm going to be doing with those.
Bicycle Wheel Warehouse in California has an excellent selection of wheels to choose from. They're pre-built, or also you can have them custom built up to various sizes. You can reach out to them directly if you have something unique like the 650 wheel or a different style hub. Therefore, it makes it an excellent bike wheel set company that actually provides good wheel sets without breaking the bank. You will find them being very trusted and true. They really hold up under a lot of different riding conditions and so forth. It takes the standard old school wheel building practices and puts them in a better format. But in any case, this is a wheel set you'll be really love to have. It'll perform for you for a long period of time, and the quality and the attention to detail is superb. You'll find information about this company in the description below, with also my personal coupon code. I hope you find a good wheel set where it works for you.
So the percentage discount is increased to 25% off on those wheels. Also, again, you can find their information, a little bit of information on my website, I Know a Guy Bicycles, under Trusted Partners. I've been working with them a little bit. They have a set of wheels coming to me, actually 2 sets. One is a through axle gravel wheel set that I'm going to be, my buddy needed to upgrade his titanium eBay special, and he wanted a set of road wheels to go to match the gravel, because we fixed up a nice little Klein for his son with like old school Durace. Little booger's fast, so he needs to switch wheels out so he can catch up. And it's like the next step's gonna be like, dude, you're just gonna have to get an E-motor on that thing. But in any case, we got a wheel set. I'll be featuring those. They just shipped. I should be seeing them probably either over the weekend or beginning of next week. But Bicycle Wheel Warehouse reached out to me, I think it's almost 2 years now, and they saw me on my channel and so forth, and they know I refurbish, classics like this that are rim brake. And he's like, hey, if you come across any needs of rim brake wheels, I can take care of you and get you what you need. And also they'll be custom built, or can be custom built if need be. And I'm like, sweet, and not too terribly expensive either. So looking at price points with the used out there, I mean, you can take the risk on a used set of wheels between 100 to 200 bucks. But even myself, I don't really find all the problems, if there's any problems at all, until I throw them on the touring stand and in the light and everything. So I have a stack of wheels to the right of me that has another pile of wheels behind this wall of just stuff that I can't really, like, oh shit, that didn't work out. That has a crack here or whatever. So if you're doing a refurbish and want something that's, a little bit nicer, and you want to, you're willing to spend a little bit extra, there's definitely an opportunity to get a rim brake, in this case, mountain a rim brake to fix up some of those old classics. Like I have a couple Kleins on them. Well, I just did one. I think I have another Palomino that I'm going to be working on too, a full suspension that I have in the house. So in any case, those particular opportunities can be for just you cyclists that are just watching, like maybe I want to get another set of wheels for different tires or a different condition or something more, for a heavier rider, that kind of thing, or just performance, that deal, absolutely. But here's the pinch we're feeling. I'm putting on my industry hat. I need to get like a little industry hat, because it's already been bleeding out over the last couple of years that manufacturers are not producing some or mid-range parts for older bikes. So you're starting even from 10 speeds to 9 speeds to 8 speeds. If you have an older system, some of those things are going to be harder to find. So when you walk into a bike shop and you got a busted up wheel, I literally did say I had a whole stack of wheels right beside me that are toast. They're going to go to their catalog, which is their QBP or JBI or BTI, and that's the service people, they're trying to be efficient when they're trying to set up an estimate and get parts in, and that's what they're used to going to all the time. I implore any of those mechanics out there or service riders that might be listening or watching this, like, think outside the box to extend the quality of service to that customer and community. So just don't go knee jerk and get yourself a single wall rim with a junky hub that it works, but that's all my SKU that I can find in the computer. Because for example, Bicycle Wheel Warehouse, they're in the process of they do direct to consumer, but they're working on a pricing for wholesale for bike shops. So they're in the works of working on that. But in the interim, if you do come across something, reach out to them like, hey, I'm looking for this. I'm a bike shop. And maybe they'll be able to get you a little better pricing so you can still provide a margin for your shop. But also the better thing is you're providing a matched product that'll go onto that tune-up, that repair, which is more appropriately vintage than some junky, bottom line, inexpensive, or overly over the top leftover that might be a QBP. And if you're like listening and going, what the hell is this guy talking about? It's like, well, these wholesalers that we buy from bike shops, they have all the parts. They have like chains, tires, tubes, grips, everything. We do all the ordering from them. And they have a laundry list of wheels to choose from. Well, the rim brakes are becoming more scarce to find due to the fact the industry has shifted over to mostly disc. And then you have limitations on different hub speeds and quality and that kind of thing. So it's a huge thing. And wheels are a third of your bike. And a good portion of your experience of riding is your wheels, even though you may not know it. The smoothest of the chain for waxing it and your efficiency of the wheels. And pretty much everybody here that's in bike shops, definitely say yes if we're like the first thing you want to upgrade on your bike is the wheels. From any standard OEM, that's always been kind of the knee jerk for the mechanical perspective of it. But fit is foremost, so make sure you get the right saddle that fits you correctly and the grip and the bars and all that. But once you get down that rabbit hole and you're ready to like, how do I get this thing to perform a little bit better, a little bit faster, or more durable, or whatever the kind of riding you're doing, the wheels is the next thing, definitely, for sure. Any case, so yeah, thanks for buying a set of wheels from BWW. They're a small company. You're supporting a small United States company. They've been doing it for years. They have a great history, and talking to the owner. He's kind of camera shy, so I don't think I'll ever get him on my show, but he's actually very nerd out on wheels. I mean, like more than I ever did. And, it took me a little bit to like read all the verbiage, like, whoa, this guy's, this is the person you want him to build your wheels. So in any case, reach out to them. They're definitely great. And then that way bike shops can leverage those particular kind of partnerships. Like, oh, I got this 5200. I came in and it had a pair of spoke wheels. And of course, we all know the Bontrager pair of spoke wheels crack on the drive side. So 9 times out of 10 or more, you're going to need at least a new rear wheel. And, I like to be matchy-matchy. So let's look for a wheel set. And therefore, you can actually provide that customer a nice wheel set, which I did another one, which was actually the promo video was featured on that bike. The guy does tens of thousands of miles of riding. This is like his 4th wheel set. And I'm like, all right, let's get you on these and see how these hold up. And they've been holding up great. So back in the 90s, we did a whole bunch of wheel building because the OEM wasn't quite there. And we were doing custom lacing with Wheelsmith spokes and Mavic Open Pro rims. I had a couple roadies, which are like 200 plus pounds. They're avid riders, strong riders, and they like bunny hop railroad tracks and so forth. So they would taco wheels. I mean, they're just like treating their road bikes like mountain bikes. And this is before the industry decided to really put, good lightweight or good strong wheel sets out there for higher performance. So this is like fast forward today and they're providing that. So you can get those classes rolling. Awesome. Or even with a new set like my buddy on his titanium. It's like got a second wheel set. Going to be lighter weight. And it's like, they ask me questions. They're like, how much is the ride? How much does the rider weigh and what they're going to be doing with it and that kind of thing. So you can go down there. So definitely contact them and getting the right set of wheels for the right bike for the right kind of experience is definitely a win-win. So in any case, I'm so excited about that anyway. All right. Whew. Ooh, mouthful. Talking a lot. And happy Friday the 13th on Freak Out Friday, special edition. I don't know why it's so special. Hey, you made it through the week. That's how special it is. And here in the States, I have a a long weekend. My daughter's out of school for 4 days, so yay me! No, it's great. It's fun. It's gonna be. We're gonna do some fun things, but it's been pretty nice. And the weather, my goodness, global warming here in Colorado has been quite nice. Went riding 3 times this week outside. In 2 of those days were 60-degree weathers, feeling like closer to 70 and sunny. I know some of you, I'm just making you totally pissed off. Sorry, and Susan, I know you're up in Canada, so yeah, sorry not to gloat, but it was nice to be able to get out, just a couple layers and out for a ride, clear my head, because we've been going through some stresses. If you haven't noticed, my wife lost her job, so we're in kind of red alert, batten down the hatches stage, which indicates I've opened up more time for me to do more tune-ups because I got to drive more income, like stat. So, this is the great time for you locals, locals, the locals here, if you're looking to get tuned up. We got some time in February and beginning of March available. I do have block off time in March because, hey, I'm going to a bike show and going to be talking to the people at NBDA, National Bike Dealers Association, as well as the CABDA show, which is there for 2 days. So I'll be there doing that. And some of you will be there too. So we'll connect a little bit before and see if we can meet up in real life at the show. And it's, this is opportunity to, like I mentioned before, if you not know, if you're an avid cyclist that have your bikes tuned up, this is the time of year to get their bikes in because you got the better mechanics still around. They usually have less stress of work, so they're going to spend more time on their bike. So it's not just going to be a good enough tune-up. It's going to be hopefully over and beyond tune-up, like, oh, I'll fix that, well, this, that, and other, which I've harped at before. It's like you got to have some leeway as service to be able to just give out some free service just to get it done, to make sure it's done right and make sure it's noted. I mean, note to the customer like, oh, yeah, I did this to make sure it's safe, so no additional charge, but just wanted to make sure it's cool. And that will go miles with your community cyclists. So that being said, this is the time for, if you load me up with some work for the next few weeks while the bike is still, or the weather's still kind of iffy, even though I just mentioned it's been nice. A lot of my customers have multiple bikes, so it's usually not that big of a deal. But anyway, that's what we're looking at. And being nice, it's just, really helps getting winter. The mountains finally got some snow. That's what we need. And that's, down here in the plains and in the front plains of the mountains. It's my geographical location. And, it's nice up here. We get to see the mountains without dealing with too much snow, in any case. All right. Single track mine. 100% on ground up builds too. Oh, they're so much fun. Just so much fun. Oh, we got Josh at Precision eBike in the garage. Not physically, but literally. No, not literally. Whatever. You know what I mean. Fuji Club rebuild single speed. Wow, that's something. Well, Precision eBike, Josh down there, he does retrofits, e-bike conversions too, in addition to servicing and working and selling on e-bikes, all in, everything under the e-bike umbrella. He's our local go-to guy. From a know a guy bicycles, I know a guy. He does all the e-bike stuff in our community. A lot of the shops will, like I mentioned before, if you're on, leveraging your cycling community as shop businesses. So instead of being competitive, cutthroat, D-heads about everything, the industry's changed to the point it's like we need to help each other out and leverage each other to help our cycling communities. That's what it's coming down to. And it's been shifting this way here locally for a while. And thank goodness for Josh in our neighborhood, well, not literally my neighborhood, but he's pretty close. I could send business his direction that I don't really set up to do. I'm not saying I don't want to do, I just not set up to do. So I had a call the other day, and it's like this old guy, I can just tell this old guy, he's like, called me like 3 times before I picked up the phone. Like, who is this? And I picked up the phone, and he's like, I need to get something done on the bike. I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, I do mostly tune-ups. That's kind of my business model, is mostly tune-ups. But what is it? And he's like, yeah. I was like, oh, I'll go ahead and do a tune-up. I was like, okay, what kind of bike is it? And he was like, oh, it's an eBike Sunshine. I'm like, woo, hold on. Not to go with all the details of it. It's like, unfortunately, the e-bikes are not in my niche, but I know somebody that will take care of you more than over the top. And I sent him to Josh. So hopefully, Josh is like, stop doing that. No, it's just one of those things where the nitty gritty of it is like, I'm not insured. Bottom line, my insurance doesn't cover the e-bike risks of batteries and all that stuff. In addition to, I'm not tooled up to do it or educated to do all of that or trained. So yeah, that's a part of, it's like, that's a part of the cycling niche of all the niches out there that I'm not completely 100% head wrapped around it. Could I figure it out? Sure. But it'll take me a long time, and it doesn't do the customer service when I can hand him off to Josh and go, hey, he could do it quicker, faster, more efficient, and know what to look for. That's the same kind of services we've been doing for suspension, like I mentioned before, and looking at other services that are going down. So any opportunity for a shop to be able to help their community without hindering or causing more disruption with their own shop, being more efficient and all that things, whatever. I've beaten that one to death. But anyway, Josh, welcome. Nice to see you in the chat. Patrick Washburn, thank you for joining in and chiming from New Orleans. Ooh, Mardi Gras season. I bet it's weird. I bet you get used to it at some point. I mean, well, maybe you don't. I mean, I went, this is 12 years ago, before she was my wife, my lovely girlfriend at the time, which is now my wife. We were down there for the AMS conference. Astrometeorological, I don't know, some sciencey thing. And it's like, oh, you want to tag along? I'm like, sweet, sure. So I tag along, and this is like a Sunday through Thursday trip. And wow, talking about a party town crazy on a Sunday night to Monday night. I mean, I was almost to the point, it's like, I'm glad I wasn't here on the weekend. I mean, I would not be alive. In any case, that was probably me being, not the best judgment and being younger with a, newer girlfriend going, yeah, let's go rock the town. We had a great time. It's a fun, beautiful place, a lot of culture, history. I suggest just going. I mean, if you're not like a, that kind of person, which is fine. If you want to go down there, I bet they can like give you some good local shops, to give you some good rides to go check out local areas. Just the culture is really cool. It's just like, wow, this is part of the United States. This is so cool. Anyway, thanks for chiming in. Just had to go there because I'm trying to think of warm places. And yeah, we went down there in January, which was really a nice shocker because we were in winter mode, and going there and just having t-shirt and shorts was pretty freaking nice. Anyway. All right, better get back on the chats here. Excavation 99, thank you for joining. What do I think about e-bikes? Well, I love them. You need some maintenance on mine. So I love them, but I don't work on them. That's the thing. Because I'm more, my business is geared up more of the me bike versus the e-bike. But the e-bikes have a huge piece in the cycling communities. Yes, there are some problems that we're working through. But at the end of the day, when you're having people joining on group rides that eliminate the stress of physical levels and still have a great time with their communities, it's awesome. Or for commuting, there's a whole bunch of pluses than there is negatives. Let's just put it that way. That's how I look at it. And if you're in my neck of the woods, Josh at Precision e-bike is one to talk about service on your e-bikes, because you can test the batteries, test the motors, and do all that stuff. I have a little video in my library, in my YouTube library, so look it up. Great guy, small shop, does wonders. So that's what I would do. I have plenty of work on the other bikes, so I don't have to veer it off my track in that perspective. But yeah, he will definitely take care of you down there. Oh, yeah, I just caught up to the chat precision. Yeah. Torque sensors, connections, all those stuff. I've learned so much stuff, and I'm done learning. No, I'm not done learning. There's just so much now between like the bike I'm putting together. It's all electronic shifting SRAM stuff, which I've done a few, but I always have to revert to videos to make sure I'm refreshed because I'm not doing it day to day. Not to say that's going to be a degradation in the quality of work. No, not by any means. It's just on a couple aspects of it is like, oh yeah, I got to really focus on that. Make sure I do it right the first time. That kind of thing. Downrange Bike Works. Hey, welcome back to the garage. Hanging out with me on Freak Out Friday. I was going to say Shop Talk. Nope, it's Freak Out Friday, Friday the 13th. Because you're special. I am special. Yeah. Oh, it's raining in Salt Lake City. Ooh, muddy. But you have a different kind of mud, right? Is it the sticky mud? We have clay mud here. You go like locally, like it piles up on your wheels and it's like cakes and it's a nasty hot mess. But yeah. All right. I'll be bringing, Patrick Washburn, I'll be riding my Karate Monkey to the Uptown Parade today. Ooh, that would be fun. They probably have like cool slow roll rides there. Slow roll rides. Oh man, that'd be so cool. And warm. So Susan, you need to like take a plane from Canada and go down to New Orleans and do a ride down there on the slow roll with Patrick and have a great time. Cold snow, battery missing the Big Easy. Oh yeah. Big Easy, I forgot. That's what they called it. That's right. Oh, I remember seeing that snowstorm. You say my wife is an atmospheric scientist, which probably one of the reasons she got laid off. But she does study on drought and snowpack and all that in Colorado, which is a big thing. All right. Oh yeah, Bill at Vinyl Bike Chains wants to talk to you, Josh, about e-bikes and recumbents and stuff like that. So maybe we should have like a video chat between three of us, that kind of thing. Talk about stuff, chain stuff, e-bike stuff, and stuff. We'll have about talk about stuff about the other stuff. All right. Yeah, there's a couple of recumbents. There used to be a recumbent store in town. I don't think they're no longer around. But I went to ride yesterday, and there's 4 people on recumbents. And man, they are smiles ear to ear, having a great time. I think 2 of them are at least e-bikes too, that kind of thing. Yeah, there's not a lot of bike shop insurance companies out there. I mean, I couldn't even go through my main one, so I had to go through a broker. Ended up with Travelers. So apparently Travelers might be one to look into for price comparisons. It's not too, I mean, all insurances are too expensive, but not too terrible what it could have been. And it's a lot cheaper to cover your butt just in case something happens too. Which reminds me, I need to re-up, make sure I'm covered for, so I have some higher expensive consignment bikes I'm selling for a neighbor and a customer. So I want to make sure they're covered just in case the house burns down or somebody, whatever, things happen. Let's see. Honest. Pokemon, am I reading that? Pokemonist? I'm going to butcher that. I'm sorry if I did. We'll just call you 3595. Any off the rip advice for bike shops opening this spring? You're opening a bike shop? Whew. Hold on to your bootstraps. It's already rough and weird and funky. leverage as much as possible of inexpensive to free social media marketing. Really identify what brand of niche of your shop is, and hopefully you did all your homework of figuring out what's going to be the best for the local area that's missing. If it's like a Trek store or a specialized store that pulled out and closed, and you're going to try to help fill that void, don't replicate. Try to really listen to, go to the club rides, to go to, other shops, go to, whoever, because you want to be part of the ecosystem, not be like the new D-head in town trying to take business from other people. You can leverage the other direction and probably, if you do it right, be warmly received from bike shops and community alike. It's a tough one. What our current industry is right now is service. So better school up on learning how to work on bikes, to everything from Walmart specials to high end, and be accommodating for all of that. Also leverage the used market with parts and bikes and so forth. Those are the two almost guarantees that are actually making income right now for most of us bike shops. So that's what I probably would say off the top of my head to leverage. And don't be shy of not, it's like, it's okay not to know. Honestly, I was like, oh, I don't know, but I'll look it up and I'll figure it out. The skill set is figuring out how to do it correctly. Is not to retain every nut and bolt torque, twist in your brain. We got to have a reference, a library, or where to go to, which makes it, since we know how to go through that process quickly, it really makes it, that's the value prop for the consumer, because, they could do it themselves, but they may not have the time, or they want to make sure it's done right, correctly, safely. And make sure your insurance is all up to snuff to what you're going to be doing. That is one of the other big things. And also inventory, go very light and polite. Don't get underwater in inventory, and reevaluate your inventory bi-weekly. What you're selling, what you're bringing in, and pricing and availability. If you're working with vendors, don't let them push you. Let your business drive your sales from buying from them, not the other way around. Because they're going to come at you with, I got a deal for you. And you're going to go, after taking that deal, you're going to like, I just made a deal with the devil. Now I'm totally up the creek and I'm out of business in 6 months. So be careful with that. That's the other part of it. Now, those are the bike industry, and the chat will be going, yep. Yeah, be mindful of that. Opening a shop right now, hopefully you have some experiences, but leveraging those who do have experiences will be a godsend for sure. Anyway. Oh, look at that. Bill and Josh are talking. Back to Patrick Washburn. Let's see. That's like the number of regular bike shops won't work on recumbents. I do work on some when they come my direction. I don't totally turn those away. But if it's an e-bike one, it's just a motor and battery thing. But yeah, for sure. Oh, okay, that's what it was. Precision e-bike was talking about Steve at Rocky Mountain Recumbents. That's the name of it. It was right behind the Whole Foods. Yeah, he was a good guy. I think I met him once or twice. Oh, we were mountain bike focused. Shop opening in Idaho Springs, Colorado, Idaho Springs, right by the gondola. Okay. We're very involved with Comba and the local community for sure. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you're in the mountain bike tour section. As you probably know, if you live up there, it's a short window compared to a lot of us for riding, because you get winters. Idaho Springs is a really nice place. Yeah, you can. I mean, yeah, be very flexible. I mean, your business might go a different direction than you may think, but e-bikes in those areas are fantastic because somebody like me coming from a flatlander going up in the mountains would have a blast because my physique or the altitude would hinder my experience, but with the e-bike assist would really enhance the experience of riding up in places like that mountainous terrain area for sure. But put a monitor throttle on it. Don't make me go too fast because I'll let her rip and kill myself. And before I know it, I'm in the ER. Yeah, try to keep your downrange bike works. Definitely good point. Keep a pulse on your cash flow. And keep in mind when you do dating on invoices, when you need to pay those and when you can kick the can down the road and don't get too much inventory. Some inventory is investment, like service portion, like chains, cassettes, but you don't have to go that crazy because if you're communicating with your vendors and if they have majority of that stuff, don't be their warehouse. Let's put it that way, that kind of thing. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, definitely reach out for sure. Insurance costs, Susan chimes in, insurance costs can be brutal if you have electric bikes. Yeah, I haven't even looked into that. I'll have to ask Josh how painful that is. Stick with the UL certificate brands with a good track record. That's a good advice there too. If you're buying an e-bike, have a dealer support can make all the difference. Yeah, absolutely. Josh can attest to this with Precision e-bike. All those others that work with e-bikes. If your brand can provide you parts, warranties, and all that, it's huge. If you're selling something that doesn't have that, if you're part of the Rad Sports family, and you're just totally effed. And it's just, you can take that as an example of like, okay, this is the next direction we want to, partnerships with. Same thing what I'm working with when I'm talking with brands. I've shifted gears like, oh yeah, you can give me a free product and I'm like, make a video, cool. And I'm like, yeah, I have a couple of those from Beaver. I mean, don't be turned off on that too much. But I use their product, so it's like kind of a win-win. Because I already use their stuff and it seems to be fine. And they make a whole bunch of things. So it's a way to me to replenish my inventory of, tools and parts, especially ultrasonic cleaners and stuff like that, without the cost. That's how I can leverage that. But on the flip side of that, though, for community branding, I'm going to be a lot more selective, and I'm kind of scaling back because I was doing the Amazon thing, store, and all that. Yeah, I'll probably still will to some level, but not like up front. It's going to be more small business. I love working with small businesses, like Bill at Vital Bike Chains or Bustle Wheel Warehouse. I mean, they're a smaller outfit. They're doing things right, and that kind of thing. And I just had a conversation. If you didn't see it on Shop Talk Tuesday, I talked to Gabe at Cantu Road. I'm just horrible. It's a road. It's not like anything related to the cycling industry. But anyway, Contento Road. Did I say that right? Anyway, they're the wholesaler direct consumer sales for Connex chains and the other, I think it's an Italian brand or French brand of sealants and waxes and stuff, which I'm going to be sniffing out and check out. So partnerships with like companies like that that are smaller and that have great product. And Connex, if you don't know Connex Chains is a German manufacturer. The parent company is called Wimperman, and they make chains for everything, like elevators, to big machinery, to all that. But the bike line portion, it's called Connex. And the Connex are German steel, German manufactured, engineered, all that stuff. So if I already sold you there's more. They have a link which is reusable and tool-free. Very important, tool-free. Don't use a tool on that because you'll break it. And it's also, that link is compatible with Shimano and SRAM and I believe Campanoli chains as well. So if you need to switch it out to make it easier to take that chain on and off to wax it or clean it or whatever, So yes, partnership like that with a brand that I trust, that I use, and that's primarily all what I stock now is the Connex chains, because it's the high-end, better quality, better servicing my community, especially my avid cyclists that ride a lot, have a longer life to them, smoother, all those things. So anyway, get off my soapbox. But that's the idea. Get a hold of the people, talk to them, get jazzed about the products, understand the products, and making sure the product is what I want to represent to my community, not just whatever I can make a buck for. So, and hopefully, the income part will come later, but at least it's providing something I can stand behind versus just, I'm just selling my soul to affiliates, which I could do, which some people have, but, it is what it is. Oh, Precision e-bike, growing pains. Rad is having a rough time. Oh, you can say that. And it cannot support warranties now. The companies like Bosch are rock solid. Requires certifications to work on their stuff. That's awesome. So when you're looking at that, Rad Sports, if they pushed a lot of inexpensive e-bike product in the United States, everywhere, did very successful, somehow ran out of money, had some battery issues, can't afford to do the recall on them, switched out, they went to a chapter, the bankruptcy chapter of protection, I forget what, 7 or 11, I can't remember, and they changed the CEO to be jockey to be sold. So that's, I think, the last thing I saw. They have a buyer that's going to take over. But when the buyer takes over, there may be stipulations. They may not be responsible for all the bad parts. In other words, recalls and warranties. They may not support that. They just will take the name and fluff it into whatever mix of bikes or whatever they else sell. So that's happened in Europe. Like Nuke Proof and Virtus. Was under Wiggle. I'm not super familiar with the European market and wholesalers and all that, but it sounded really weird, like gangster money weird kind of fallout from Wiggle or whatever it was. And these bike lines has basically got just dissolved. And then another company bought a couple of the brand names, but they were not going to warranty or take care of all the past problems. They're just going to take the name and make a new line out of it. So weird stuff like that. I mean, and we're just at the cusp of more weirdness stuff going for the next 3 years. So at least. But yeah, when you're talking about 50% tariffs on steel products, that's pretty much everything on a bike that's not carbon. So when you're talking like chains and wheels and everything else, customer beware, prices are going to go up on all your parts here on forward. Once the depletion goes down in the warehouses, their reorders, prices are going to go up. They're not going to eat it. They can't. And then all of a sudden, the limitations of what they do bring in is going to be narrower focused. So it's not going to be as much product available to choose from. And what is available going to be way more expensive. Starting now through, I'll let you know when that ends. And it's not pretty. Bike shop people don't like it because we're constantly have to change our price structure, which is the whole inventory time suck, because you just can't set the price and forget it and go through the season. This has to be reevaluated, like I mentioned before, every 2 weeks, because that next batch of tires that come in are a couple bucks more, or $5 or $10 more, you got to reflect that. All of a sudden your margins are going from already razor thin margins in bike shops, people. If you don't know, they're already suffering a razor thin margins. I mean, they don't make a lot of money on all their products. And all of a sudden you get undercut on that. It's basically you're giving the product away and not making anything under it. So Business 101, for all of you that are cyclists that are watching this that are not in the industry, let's say I buy this chain, right? I got myself a nice Connex, not titanium, stainless steel chain, right? And this chain, let's just say for giggles, wholesale level, and they have also what they call MSRP, which is a suggested retail level. And that is like a 35% margin. If you're lucky, 40, but most likely it's 35% margin. Let's just say this chain is $100 MSRP. So 30% would be margin. It would cost me $70. That doesn't include the shipping it to get to me. Okay, so you got to add that in the factor there too. So that erodes a little bit of that 30%. What else erodes that 30% margin on a product is lights, building, rent, insurance, everything else in between has a percentage cut on everything that you sell. So you take that 15% and then you go, okay, that's the cost of business, running a business. Then on top of that, you got to pay somebody to check it in, sticker it, put it on the hook. Then you got to pay another person to sell it. You do this on your bike. Here you go. Then you got to pay a mechanic to put it on that bike. Then you got to pay another person to check the bike out and make sure they're all good and warm and fuzzy about it before you get on that. So yeah, some labor costs, installation and so forth. I'm not going to say that, but you just sell the chain itself and the cost of the labor on top of that. They'd be lucky to make $5 as a profit on a $100 product. So correct me if I'm wrong, but most of the other shops are going, yep, that's where it comes down to. And then it comes down to volume. Well, we're in not a scenario where chains are going to be a volume. I mean, some service, if you push it and that narrow and deep and products and so forth. But when you're talking about bottle cages, gloves, everything else that, you put on there, one to show, one to go kind of thing, that's not a volume. So the margin on that. So the thing is, when the price goes up on these guys, 50% tariffs on steel currently in the States, that pretty much makes you rely on labor. Labor. Service. Let me install that chain. Used to be $15, now it's $25 to install that chain. Just because it has to. Because my mechanics, they need to eat. They're already eating ramen, and now they need to pay for insurance or whatever. All the costs of living have increased too. So that reflects that livable wage is no longer reflectant. Well, it never was reflectant, but now even more non-reflectant for those who are part-time. So anyway, inventory, one to show, one to go. That's the gold. Yeah, I mean, if your wholesalers have it in stock, don't be their warehouse. That was a big push early before COVID, and then everybody got freaked out during COVID. Now we've got to go back to that. Don't forget, go back to that. Or don't have that hook filled with something you're not going to sell. Don't let those vendors tell you that, oh, you need to carry this X because it's the coolest thing. It might be cool, but it may not be the coolest thing in your market. Keep that in mind. I have had numerous reps over the years push a whole bunch of stuff. And if you've been around long enough, you just say no. Like, maybe, no, whatever. Because the other side of this is your customer community. And that community, they're the ones who are going to go, that's kind of cool, we need that. What they need is what they need now, not what they want. So all that high-end fluff stuff, forget about it, because that's not selling this year. It's the needs. Chains, cables, housing, grips, bar tape, saddles that make you more comfortable ride, fitting pieces, those kinds of things for service, cables and housing, what I mentioned already, but whatever that makes your service department, those are the things that you'll need to invest a little bit more in possibly to make sure you have that product. And other consumables, tires, tubes, sealants, that kind of thing. But keep in mind, all that inventory, you got to double check it every 2 weeks, make sure the pricings are not going up or if they're available. Don't go crazy. Don't buy like my dad. We had like a rubber crisis in the 90s And I think it was driven by Schwinn at the time, like, oh, you better buy all the rubber because it's going to go up and we're not going to bring it in. I don't know what the hell the crisis was. I just remember we front loaded like 2 years worth of tires. Like, why in the living F did we do that? But, we went through them eventually. But we had to build racks to carry all this stuff, and it was just like dumb looking back on it. So, you new guys, keep it lean. Sell what you know you're going to sell, which actually, no. Don't leverage what you know what you're selling. Leverage what your dumb computer is telling you that you're selling. That is the golden piece. Because what you gut feel is one thing. What your numbers show is a little bit different. Coming from an inventory manager that used to work with an inventory management program, Retail Toolkit, yeah, that was the biggest disconnect. You need to know through data what you're selling and what you're carrying, and knowing what your customers, and like, don't fall into the trend. There's no trends right now. I mean, that you can jump on that will be like, oh, if you get customers coming in asking for a certain thing, let's say the TPU tubes, and you're like, oh, I got a couple people, man, okay, maybe I'll buy a couple, just a few. Don't go crazy, and see if they sell through, and see if your staff are behind it, and see if your community's behind it. And with staff is one thing, but your community that's actually buying the stuff, they're the ones that you want to make sure you're in pulse with. Like, okay, all the roadies out there are switching over, getting out of tubeless, going into TPUs, whatever those plastic tubes are. That's the newest thing. That's where we're going to go. That's where you're going to stick with and go for it. Because it's just, and then just keep it light and polite and source those, and maybe have more than one vendor to choose from if you're a shop that does that. And be prepared for it to hard stop. All of a sudden, like, some stupid thing comes out saying something negative. I'm not even going to make up something because it just would trend on the freaking internet. But just say something negative comes upon that product to a point where people are going to stop buying it. All of a sudden, then you're with like a couple hundred cases of the tubes that you're not going to sell because they're risks to something. I'm not even going to say what, but put it in this way. Anything that can be harmful to anything, which we already know a lot of light parts and plastics and everything else can be. But when it gets resonated to a product and gets catched on fire on that, you're done. I mean, look at the water bottle industry. I mean, everything's being shifted over to stainless steel, which, could be proof behind it or bad or no, even before that, the different kinds of plastic back in the 2008, 2009, we're like, oh, I got a PPV free, whatever, that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, there's some science behind it. And, you might drink the Kool-Aid on that and be like, oh yeah, I switched over and all that. Maybe some work to it. But some of it was like, yeah, it's harmful if you put it in a microwave for like an hour. Sure, anything is harmful in a microwave for an hour. But that doesn't mean to say maybe some of those micro pieces get in your system and may cause effects 20 years down the road. Who knows? But in any case, don't go too crazy on something too new because all of a sudden you're too much product that you can't get rid of and you're discounting it below cost. That's another scary part of the inventory portion of it. But if you really stick to your guns with service and taking care of your communities, I think the communities will take care of you. Hopefully it's just a big enough community to do so. And work with the other shops, work with, double down on the niches in your neck of the woods, that kind of thing will help. It's just crazy. You can use, Patrick Washburn has a good idea. I mean, you can use AI to inventory optimization to some level, but you have to audit it because, quite frankly, it's not perfect. If you streamline it and you keep it, it can help on some heavy lifting portion of it, but it still needs a human touch perspective of auditing it. We had an algorithm at Retail Toolkit which took 3 years of your inventory and gave it weights, and that's with every category to every subcategory. And each weight was like weighted on the volume and so forth, and did a projection what you need to have on hand for the next 6 months to fulfill your particular sales. Okay, the industry, the market right now is so freaking upside down and weird right now. The algorithm probably would not give you exactly, even then, right numbers. So, but it might point you in areas where you might see some deficits, like, oh, I'm open to buy on this product because I keep selling through it. Maybe I need to adjust that fill rate on that particular item. That's where it can probably help. But you know, it's a tool like anything else. And you can probably build up an AI version of inventory management to the sub level based on waits of 3 years or however long your business is. And then a factor in, this could be a really cool perspective, factor in two major factors. One, economical environments, which is our economy, all that, put that as equation weight, as well as weather trends. What's your 6-month outlook? Are you warmer than seasonally average, lower than seasonally average? If you can build that in from like 10 years of sales data and those particular trends, like right now, we're having warmer than average temperatures. When in history we've had that in business in the last 10, 15 years of your bike shop, has that affected the sales of the particular ones? If you had an easy way to tap into that algorithm-wise, try to leverage AI to grab that data points, that could be super fruitful of what, okay, these weekends are going to be pretty popping. We maybe need to actually have extra staff or be service. And lastly, stop discounting your tune-ups. Don't need to do it. Some people, some markets, it becomes expected. Sure. But don't let them go too long. If you have business coming in, you can promote without giving the farm away, giving the 50 to 100 bucks like the truck stores are. Like, shit, we need to get people in the store because they're just crickets right now. So there's a couple gold nuggets for your independent bike dealers. Check people, close your ears, specialized people, close your ears. You're not supposed to hear this. This is the secret. You can promote saying, hey, best mechanics on hand, ready to service your bikes. Get them in now. Sense the urgency because time March hits, we're going to be a week out on tune-ups or 2 weeks out on tune-ups. The parts are available now. I can get you tuned up with parts without absorbent prices, but prices may be increased in 3 to 6 months from now. There's just by the mere fact of communicating to your cycling community of a sense of urgency, that will probably drive enough business to help you keep going and keeping those appointments going, then giving away discounts. Also, reevaluate all the costs on those and do a reflective increase on all your service packages and what those entail to at least 15 to 20% more. That's the other driver. Get them while they're low, give them while they're current prices because they're going to go up in June, period. That's just going to have to happen, and it's going to happen. If you're not leveraging that and you're cutting yourself out there, or your competitors doing the same thing, like, well, I can go down here and get 24-hour service with like $50 cheaper. Like, fine, well, sure. Number one, you're not going to get as good tune-up. Number two, you're going to be paying somebody else to fix something later because they're only going to do a good enough tune-up. So you're going to need that $50 to put towards other repair work in short term. And number three, that shop may not be around in 6 months to a year because they're racing to the bottom. Been there, worked at a shop where I saw a market, 2 shops, man, they hated each other. And man, did both owners race to the bottom. They both almost went out of business. One definitely did, and it was not pretty. And they basically divided the cycling community to like either you like us or we hate you. It was really ugly. I mean, it was so ugly. And regardless of how the owners reacted to each other, they should have been a little more community based, but apparently they had big sticks up there and, they raced it. And the one that I worked for shortly, after the fall of the other, it was sad. It was horrible. it deficited the community, cycling community. And did it help the other shop? It almost drove itself under because it discounted everything to the point of almost, I mean, lifetime free tune-ups, people, is the dumbest thing ever. Bicycle Village did it here, and they did lifetime free tune-ups, but then they put a clause in there. Had to be done in January and February, the off season, the two slowest months, or you don't get that free tune-up. I mean, it was kind of like a bait and switch. But these other guys like free, and it's like it bogged down. I worked the service department there. Bogged down the service department there so bad with all these 15, 20-year-old bikes that, free tune-up. A free tune-up, people, is basically a safety check with a lube and air tire inflation, period. I mean, it's no tune-up to it. It's a bait and switch for marketing. And people see that and like get their bike back like, oh, okay, that's cool-ish. And they have problems within the first week. Not saying all shops are that way, and not shops are always that way, but it's not the greatest philosophy and that kind of thing. There's ways to combat the competition if they're really undercutting, and and again, that person that's looking for the cheapest price is sometimes really not your customer that you really need to be focusing on anyway, because they're always going to be, they're never going to really buy anything or implore your services to give you a profit. They're really not your customer. It's just a warm body that floats through and just makes you mad. It's those people that understand the value of work on their bikes, because a lot of these bikes, to really avid cyclists, are part of the extension of their life. Like it's their lifeline, their sanity, or their health, or whatever. It's more than just a bike. It's their experience. And sometimes, and a lot of times, in a lot of cases, those experiences, really it gives it a value to them. So when they're said, like, your tune-up on a bike, and I'm doing these extra stuff, no, we threw in some extra labor on this to make sure it's right for you, and give them that warm hug and sense of commitment of thank you for letting us entrusting us to work on your bike, goes miles. And if you do the extra little things that a bike mechanic takes us hardly no time at all to do, but ensures that it's not going to fail or have a problem within 3 to 6 months down the road, is huge. And when I proved this to myself, is I've done tune-ups on bikes, some avid riders, and they haven't had any problems for 2 years riding their bike. Maybe a little bit of maintenance here and there, but mostly 2 years. That's freaking huge. Value to them, and a testimonial of the stuff I'm doing to their bike to make it not overthinking it, but making sure it's done right, and not overlooking the things that the service ticket didn't say it needed to be done. It's like, oh no, this is wrong, I'm going to fix it. I'll make note of it and let them know. I'm not going to charge them every nickel diamond on that, because nobody wants to. I don't feel like every time you take your car in to get the tires rotated, I don't want to be like, well, you need a new battery and an oil filter, so we just did that. Like all of a sudden that free rotation is now $300. I'm not going to do that to people, because I want to support my community. Therefore, they support me. They give me a lot of work to do, and they entrust me of just do it right. I'm like, all right, that's cool. That's awesome. Let's get you on the road and having a great season. So that's my Freak Out Friday, Friday the 13th. So everybody, thank you for joining me in the chat. I do have a story about Friday the 13th. Actually, 2 stories. One's a horrifying story. Other one's a love story, set in stone, set in of all times. So my wife and I, we got married in 2013 on Friday the 13th, because that's when the venue had availability, because we wanted to do a certain venue, and their only available was like Friday the 13th, and I was like, oh, that's cool, I'm anti, whatever. Well, that was the flood of February 13th of 2013 in Colorado here, the Thompson and the Poudre River flooded. We had so much rain. It was like tropical rain for days prior to that. Crazy rain, flooded. And Friday the 13th of 2013, Fort Collins, Colorado became an island. In other words, there was so much water coming down and taking out bridges all the way through the plains. It isolated Fort Collins, Colorado for a day. That day was our wedding day. We had half of our family stuck on the other side of the river where it's shut down. They were not letting anybody in that day. So we had over 100 people plus invited, like 40 people were able to make it locally. So that's my Friday the 13th story, being married. Don't think I'll pick that day again for being married. I don't think my wife would either, but it was interesting. Then again, she's an atmospheric scientist, and her atmospheric scientist friends made it in a couple days earlier, so they were all here, PhDs in atmospheric science and all that. It's like, and we just made a running joke of it. It's like, that's what happens when you get too many atmospheric scientists in the same place. You have a once in a lifetime weather or 100 or 100, 200 year flood event by rain and precipitation. So anyway, crazy stuff. But yeah, that's my Friday the 13th story. All right, well, it's a long weekend for us here in the States. Not so great. Anyway, I won't get into that. But hopefully you got some insights on bike shop stuff, bike shop perspective. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. If it's nice in your neck of the woods, please go for a ride. Please check out those trusted partners that I have if you're looking for new chains or wax chains or new wheels. They are very solid individuals, cool people. They are part of our cycling community, and they're, they contribute, right? They're not just here to make a buck. They were here to do it right. Oh, hey, Bill, your anniversary is on April 1st? Oh, April Fool's Day. Took me a hot second, but yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, the other Friday the 13th story was we went to go close on a house in Michigan. We moved cross country, sat down, gonna buy a house. The seller, MIA, turns out it was like 6 months underwater. The title company did not do their homework, and we were basically homeless with all our storage stuff, all our personal stuff in a container sitting in front of the house that we're going to move into, that we had to redirect to a shipping yard until we figured out our stuff. That was the other Friday the 13th, and that was horrifying. Like, oh, I don't have a place to live now, because we were planning to move. We checked out of the hotel. We were going to move in, all our stuff. We had a cat. I mean, we didn't have the child then, so that saved a little. But anyway, I hope your Friday the 13th is a nice day in your neck of the woods. I hope you're able to go out and go for a ride. Happy Valentine's Day tomorrow for all those. It's Friday. Woo! Love's in the air. If you don't have a loved one, just get on your bike and, do what you do. Go for a ride. It's inanimate, but, I won't think you're weird. But I hope everybody has a great weekend. Our plans is to go bowling, have some time. Oh, I got some steaks. Gonna cook steaks up tomorrow. Have a nice bottle of red wine. Kind of keep it low budget because we're really kind of tight right now. So anyway, but we'll make the best of it. That's the thing is it's not bad things happen to you, and that's you can almost count on it. It's how you roll with them. How do you work through them? How do you work with it together as a family unit? That makes the world, because bad things will happen. It's just how you work through them. And if you can still find the finer things in life, happiness, you're much better off. And sometimes it's hard to do, I guarantee you. So mental health, riding your bike, doing some form of exercise also is a way of getting through tough times. And a lot of us are going through tough times here in the States, and it's just, cycling is a lifeline for a lot of people. So those who are in the cycling industry, keep that in mind, because you don't know what that person's going through when they walk in your door to have that bike worked on, tuned up, or what have you. Don't try to just sell them the newest thing on the floor and alienate them. Try to help them out. Also, those older bikes, some of them they have attachment to them. I mean, to the point they'll even name them because that particular bike has given them, so much a distraction or better health or whatever experiences. So you want to be a part of that journey. You don't want to alienate or disrupt that journey. So try to, especially right now, what we're going through, especially here in the States, be part of the solution, not part of the problem. So in any case, I'll leave you with that. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to have some fun. Spring cleaning is part of our weekend plans too. But in any case, got some cool things to work on. Just finished up some really cool things. I just finished a 2300 mint condition, but wow, it needed all new cables in the housing. Not because they needed to be replaced, because whoever installed it before, they were all too short. So the bike is safe to ride now for the rider, and I'm going to do a little fitting for her, and she's hopefully going to enjoy the living heck out of the thing. At least I'm going to give it my best college try to get her on the best foot forward on this bike. So in any case, that's part of my contribute to my community. Hope you all are having a good one. Let's Josh, let's definitely be out there. I think I'm driving out maybe the Saturday before, still kind of figuring that out, but I'm there for MBDA for those 2 days, so I'll definitely see you there because I know you're part of them, and also CABDA the 2 days after that. Let's hang out, talk about stuff, see what we think. All right. Thanks again, everybody. And again, it's nice in the neck of the woods. Please go for a ride. And, try to make things better. I went for a ride yesterday. It was beautiful. Yeah, until that headwind. And I turned around and I realized I was old. Shout outs to those in the chat before I leave. Josh at Precision eBike. He is my local source for e-bike stuff. And Vital Bike Chains, Bill. He does pre-waxing of chains. Patrick Washburn down in the Big Easy, New Orleans. Let's see, Susan from up north. I hope you're finding warm thoughts up there in Canada. Thank you all for community chatting and all that and contributing. Anos Pokemonas, good luck on your new venture of opening a shop. Hope it's good. It's exciting. Don't let the crazy industry scare you out of it. Just try to look at the positive things. Be excited for it. And Downrange Bike Works out of Utah, hey, shout out to you. Hope you're doing great, getting ready for the season, that kind of thing. We all need to lean on each other, so, and make things go better direction, all those things, that kind of thing. I think I named everybody. I'm going up. Excavation 99, yeah, thank you for chiming in. Thank you for commenting. Single track, thank you as well. And there's some other language I don't understand, but I shout out to you too. I'm not that smart. Nick Poulos, 2744. Thank you for buying and supporting Buscaloo Warehouse too, by buying and refurbishing that classic 2026er Diamondback DB. Those are pretty cool. Anyways, thanks guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Until next time, keep it rubber side down.